Okay, everyone, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the conversation over in sessions, moderated by Olivia. We are ready for another program. Our 4:30 kickoff is Exploring Education, and I'm very excited to introduce this program and the presenters and presentations I'm about to play for you. So, Exploring Education is a glimpse into the educational institutions and student experiences both at home and abroad. Each presenter will give a brief presentation and will be followed by another Q&A session led in hop-in sessions by Motoko Furuhashi. So I'm going to introduce our first presentation, which is Sungyeoul, who received his BFA from Kookmin University and MFA from University of Illinois. He served as an artist in residence at ACC USA and had taught silversmithing and jewelry in the US for several years. His works are shown in numerous exhibitions throughout the world and won many awards, including the grand prize at Chun-Yu International Craft Biennale and second place in the Seoul Bell Design Award. His works were permanently collected in Sparta Teapot Museum in North Carolina and Cheongju Craft Biennale Association. He has also presented numerous workshops and lectures around the US and Canada, including at VCU, BGSU, and NSCAD. We are going to see a presentation about Kookmin University College of Design, the Department of Metalsmithing and Jewelry, where we will introduce the historical background, curriculum, vision, and facilities of the program at Kookmin, as well as some of current work of students, in addition to the work and performance of alumni who are active in the international field. I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Hello, it is very nice to meet you. This is Professor Sungyeoul, who teaches at the Metalwork and Jewelry program at Kookmin University in Seoul, Korea. It is a great honor for me to introduce our program at Society of North American Goldsmiths, which has played very important role in the promotion and development of metal crafts. I'd like to express my gratitude to SNAG board members for this opportunity. I'm going to introduce beginning, present, and future vision of the Metalwork and Jewelry program at Kookmin University. Even though it is a short time, I hope it will be a valuable time to introduce the excellence of our program and great talents of our students. Okay, I will start the presentation following a brief introduction video of our department. Our program belongs to a College of Design consisting of 9 departments in crafts and design area. The College of Design is the first design school in Korea and currently has more than 50 professors. For the past 40 years, the College of Design has become an important center of design education in Korea. The beginning. The Department of Metalwork and Jewelry, which started with the Department of Living Arts in 1971, was renamed the Department of Crafts in 1984. In 2002, the Department of Metalwork and Jewelry and Ceramic was separated from the Department of Crafts, and as a result, more specialized and intensive major education was provided. The education of the Department of Metalwork and Jewelry began when Professor Seung-hee Kim, the first generation of the Korean contemporary craft, came as a full-time professor in 1976. Afterwards, foreign professors such as Jack da Silva from the United States and Stephen Boat from England were invited to teach students for 6 years. And through this, the department was able to have the foundation for international and advanced craft education. In the 2000s, as the importance of craft education based on digital and industrial processes was highlighted, classes using digital software such as JollyCAD and Rhino were expanded. This has made an important contribution to students' creative use of various industrial and digital processes. Currently, the department consists of an undergraduate course in charge of a wide range of formative art education, and 2 graduate and doctoral programs that train professional craft artists and designers. Present. The department aims for craft education to harmonize the 3 elements: head, that forms the human intelligence; a heart, that emits the emotions; and a hand, that forms the shape. We deals with a wide range of materials from metal to new materials for creative works, and further provides professional education based on theories and techniques of metalwork, as well as new technology-based training. The department has maintained its reputation as one of the most competitive educational institutions internationally through world-class faculty, specialized studio environment, numerous scholarship programs, and exchange student system with the world's leading metalworking school. These are our 6 professors who work internationally in various fields such as jewelry, tableware, CAD/CAM, and theory. Based on the theoretical understanding of the social and cultural values of craft, the Department of Metalwork and Jewelry aims to balance the design development process for creative and artistic craft work and commercialization. We also cultivate creative talents in the elegant and unique daily goods, ornament, furniture, sculptures, and crafts based on contemporary sentiment of crafts and culture-related planning. The curriculum of the department is largely divided into 5 major areas. Design practice area helps students acquire basic design elements and principles, including 2D, 3D, and develop the basis of creative expression ability. Metal crafts, that students study the properties of metal materials as well as processing and expression techniques. Jewelry area helps students learn various accessories production, including art jewelry that emphasize expression and aesthetics. Fine jewelry using precious metals and jewels, and fashion accessories that reflect contemporary taste. Industrial products area helps students learn the use of various CAD/CAM software as well as 3D printers, applies them to design and production, and learns methodology to investigate production methods and efficient applicability in the industrial field. In the craft and art theory area, students explore the historical, socio-cultural characteristic of crafts and contemporary crafts activities, and broaden their understanding of the arts as a whole. In this way, our education is intensified from foundation to the applications in the 5 fields throughout the school year, and they are linked organically with the process of creation. I'd like to introduce some works of the students who have been through this training. Tablewares, design object, sculpture, jewelry by students. A teapot made by student. That's another teapot, but it's a more traditional form. It's a food, or I think it's a fruit tray. It's a candle holder. That's another candle holder. It is sauce bowl. The wine tool kit. This is sculpture, and also this is hourglass. The hourglass part is rotating. This is table lamp. This is bicycle. It's all handmade by student. This is also a table lamp, but it's a kinetic movement. This is side table or tea table. This is a leather bag. There are some art jewelry made by students. Just spangles. Another art jewelry. Mixed media. It's beautiful, a metal art jewelry form. It's made by student too. The effectiveness of education of our program was also proven through various activities of alumni and graduates. From craft artists and jewelers who run studios and shops, educators, to designers who successfully combined craft value and design. Many alumni are currently active and receive awards and recognition nationally and internationally. Let me share some of their works too. This is Hanju Kim. He's a designer, and he made peppermill. This is Sung Han. He's also a designer. He makes amazing and beautiful speaker. It's a handmade. Gi-jun Choi, he's a metalsmith and educator, and he's very good at CAD/CAM, and he teaches CAD/CAM software and Rhino at Kookmin University. Dong-no Yoon, he's a metalsmith and educator. Actually, he teaches at Kansas State University right now. He's very well known for this kinetic Wing series rings. Jong-seok Lim, he's a jewelry artist. Harim Shin, she's also a jewelry artist. Sungyeoul, she's a jewelry artist too. The pieces you're seeing right now, these pieces got award from Loewe Prize. She was a finalist, one of finalists. Hee-ju Kim, she's a jewelry artist. She gave a workshop and lecture at the Enameling Society in the States a few years ago. Her enameling piece is very, very beautiful. Dong-hyun Kim is a metalsmith and educator. His piece got award from Silver Triennial International a few years ago. He's a master of silversmithing. Jina Shim, she is a metalsmith and educator too. Her piece was in the Talente 2006. Her crochet technique is amazing. Junwon Jung, he's a jewelry artist. He works in Germany right now, and he got Frederick Becker Prize in 2020. Seulgi Kwon, maybe there are a lot of people who knows her and her work. She's a jewelry artist, and she got award from Art Jewelry Forum in 2014. Mina Kang, a jewelry artist. She got an award from BKV in 2012. Yeji Lee, she got award as well from BKV in 2015. Namgyung Lee, she's a jewelry artist and gallerist. She got awards from Barcelona Art Jewelry Object, which is Hoya. Usually, she makes amazing insects form out of very different types of mixed material. She got award from Taiwan International Metal Craft Competition. Ryung-jae Chung, he's also a jewelry artist, and he got a lot of awards internationally. And he's very well known for the chain works. Those chains are printed from 3D printer. Future makers. Recently, design with a new expression close to craft, which is produced on a small quantity to improve quality, emerges as an important global trend, and makers are receiving attention along with the fourth industrial revolution. Therefore, our department aims to foster craft-based makers who will lead the age of smart based on creativity and production capability, which is the strength of craft. For several years, our department has been supporting and supplementing the existing educational system by creating a maker program with four themes: Maker Project, Find the Maker, Meet the Maker, and Go Maker. This is our long-term plan to nurture future makers. First, we opened the Maker Project, a project-based learning class that crosses the boundaries between departments and grades to help students develop problem solving and planning skills. Second, we have been operating the Find Maker program that enables students to develop their entrepreneurship through projects and competitions connected with companies and industries related to jewelry, fashion, and living design mostly. Third, Meet the Maker is a mentoring program that connects students with experts in various fields. It is very important and meaningful to provide the students with various field experiences, and this is something that the faculty may not provide. Fourth, it is a Go Maker consisting of various international workshops and exchange exhibitions, as well as an exchange student program to strengthen students' global competency. Since the establishment, the department has been actively engaged in various international exchanges with more than 10 major art universities in North America, Europe, and Asia. Craft that connects art and design embodies the rich imagination and spirit of human by directly dealing with a variety of given materials. Accumulation of artists' creativity and skills combined with new technologies and materials fosters pioneering and experimental craftsmen and provides them with the qualifications and abilities as a designer. The Department of Metalwork and Jewelry at Kookmin University has reached its current position with sincere and professional education while maintaining the legitimacy of craft. As the best metal craft program in Korea, we're still making our best efforts to have global sense and competitiveness. We ask for your interest and encouragement in the Department of Metalwork and Jewelry, which is moving forward without falling behind in the new changes that are coming. Thank you.
Wow. I don't know about all of you, but I am absolutely blown away by some of the work that was shown. Also, those studios look fantastic. I feel like some of you folks in the audience have been fortunate enough to visit, teach, or been educated at Kookmin. So I'm going to introduce our next presentation, which is Chun-Yu, who is a recent grad of Tainan National University of the Arts in the Department of Material Arts and Design. She's won many awards, including the Tainan Fine Arts Exhibition, Dayton Fine Arts Exhibition, the National Fine Arts Exhibition, and has participated in numerous group exhibitions throughout Tainan. I'm going to play this presentation for you now. Please enjoy.
我来南艺念书，大学4年，研究所现在是3年级，所以现在是第7年。我叫徐君玉，目前就读于国立台南艺术大学应用艺术研究所精工与首饰组。高中是读比较偏向设计类。所以我一进来之后，发现这里的每一个人、同学甚至老师都是非常的有艺术气息、创作气息。然后我就会觉得，哇，你们怎么那么纤细？我就觉得，哇，就是大家怎么都这样子？我是个异类什么的？然后是一直到就是做了精工之后，就是我才能真正进入就是创作的状态。我大概是从大2的时候开始接触到精工。我的创作的题材通常都会是人，比起跟别人讲话，我反而是比较像是第3个在旁边看那2个人讲话的一个角色。就是我看着别人的互动，然后画下我觉得很有感觉的一个 moment， 然后之后回来把它做成一个场景的重现，或是人物的重现。创作有用铁线跟铜线。如果要做人的话，然后希望他站立的话，最主要就是要处理他的重心问题。一开始的身体的时候，必须要有这种比较粗一点的结构在，他才能可以站得很挺。细的做细节，就是必须要考量他可以重心会往哪里摆啊什么的。我最近想要尝试把一些颜色加进我的创作里面，因为我自己看我自己的创作的作都是这种颜色，然后看起来就很沉重，没有一些好像属于我年轻人该要有的一些精神，所以之后我就想要让我的颜色多一点，看起来比较有差别。
我是黄冠杰，我从大学开始就进工艺系学习精工。断敲，我就觉得它很像在跟一个人沟通，因为金属它有它自己可以延展、可以压缩的特性，有一种和金属互相理解的感觉。
我们现在工作室大概有3个人左右在做断敲。虽然大家都同样是运用断敲的技术，是每个人运用不同的变化去讲各自想要讲的事情。
我是谢正顺，我是从大学的时候接触到精工以后，才开始做首饰的。其实，在南艺这些学校来讲，材质是没有很限制在精工的，你都可以透过一些材料的实验，然后去挖掘材料比较隐晦的一些意涵，让它来呈现你的概念或是你的想法。
我是黄敏欣，来自香港。 在香港主要是做小型的进贡物件跟首饰类的。这个石头是在安平的一个海域找到的，有很多 iron oxide 在里面。我觉得这个红色的情感让我对香港曾经发生的事情有一点连结，我就把这个摩达的力量就变成是一个曾经感受过的外在力量，把它投射在石头上面。
大部分是创作的课程，还有精工与首饰的思潮课跟理论课。我们也可以修别的系所的课，只要是自己喜欢或是有兴趣的，都可以当做一个选择。毕业的话，我们需要写一本书面报告和准备一个个展。我们每学期都有评图，就像大家在影像中看到的，会有3个老师跟我们讨论作品。每年我们也有对外的展览，从一开始的计划、拉赞助、布展到最后开幕，都是由学生负责。这些都是为了让我们学习如何举办一个展览，让作品有对话的机会。徐老师从创校到现在已经教了24年，以往每一年都会邀请外国艺术家举办工作坊。艺术家会分享自己的作品跟创作经验，也会丢出题目让我们挑战。在短短的时间里，我们往往会发展出有趣的东西。很可惜的是，因为疫情的关系，所以这几年的交流就比较少了。除此之外，我们还有很多很棒的学长学姐，他们的作品在国际上都有不错的成绩，会不定期的回来跟我们交流。他们有些在大学里面从事精工的教学，有一些是专职艺术家，也有一些人拥有自己的工作室。他们分享的经验都是我们重要的养分。对于创作，我其实应该有快乐的时候，可是同时也会有非常痛苦的时候。我其实还蛮 enjoy， 就是在思考我的线条怎么在这个空间走，它可以有效的在观者的脑海里面成型。我觉得那是我很开心的一件事情。然后比较痛苦的是，就是我很常可能东西太多，然后 我曾经在这边做到哭，就觉得我为什么要这样子？这真的是我要的生活吗？这样子就是也是做到一个人在这边崩溃这样子。可是隔天还是会必须要来工作室。以公益为职业，我会担心，应该说非常担心。首先是因为我家里嘛，就是我家里是比较属于传统的，每一次我回家，他们都会问说啊，你毕业后到底能干嘛？然后我其实也报了很多比赛，就是为了想要有机会在毕业后还继续在这个圈子里面做东西这样子。所以我应该是还想要继续做，对。
Okay, folks, another great presentation there. Sorry, I think my video is freezing up a little bit. Apologies for that. Some fantastic work there from students at the Tainan National University of the Arts. Up next, we have another presentation from Xiaoyan Wang, who is a Chinese art jeweler based in Beijing. She has been awarded an MA with distinction in jewelry and related products in Birmingham City University School of Jewelry in the UK, and she built the fashion jewelry brand Mollism in 2020. This presentation is going to focus on her practice as a cross-major learner, talking about how she learned to be an independent jewelry designer during the short 2 years in BCU School of Jewelry. She'll also discuss how she developed creating her own style by doing projects in school and building a jewelry brand, and give some tips on building a brand through her own experience. I hope you enjoy the presentation. I'm going to cue that up for you now.
Hello guys, my name is Molly Wang, and you can call me Molly. I'm a jewelry designer, and now I'm doing my own jewelry brand, Mollism, in China. And I finished the master course of content.
I think we lost Alex, and she's just texting me. I'm going to go ahead and I'll play it from my computer. So apologies for the issue. Let's see what we can do here. Bear with me.
Hello guys, my name is Molly Wang, and you can call me Molly. I'm a jewelry designer, and now I'm doing my own jewelry brand, Mollism, in China. And I finished the master course of contemporary jewelry in Birmingham City University School of Jewelry in England in 2019, and built my own brand in 2020. I used to be a jewelry lover 6 years ago, who dreams to create jewelry of my own style, but have no idea how to achieve that. And that's why I choose to study further abroad. So when I start the pre-master course, I try to find my own style by trying different kind of material, technique, and topics. Actually, metal is the most familiar material for me before the course. So I tried more others like resin, silicon, jasminite, and so on. And also I learned more technique in the pre-master and the master course, like casting, forging, chasing, which are not familiar for me, and to finish different topics. So every time when I finish the prototype of the works, I would observe it and reflect on it. I will ask why I made it like this, and any other material I can use. And am I happy with the scale, and am I happy with the shape? And generally, I realized that I care more about the shape of my works rather than using specific material or technique. I addict on creating the abstract organic shapes with no sharp angles, and I like to express any topic in a soft way rather than forcible way. So as more works I have done, I kindly find my own style, which is making abstract 3D shape with curves to present my work. And my creating methodology is focusing on specific stuff which can present the abstract idea I want to say to help people to understand it easier, and then abstract the specific looks to figurative shape for them to imagine. It's like I'm the creator of a game. I want people to pass, but not that easy to pass. Otherwise, it will be quite boring. So my works are not obviously talking about something. The information is more subtle, and I'm happy that users understand it on their own way with imagination. After graduation, I start to prepare building a jewelry brand in China, which is my home country. It started from the brand name Molism, which I want to present my own style jewelry through every season. And what's more, I prefer to combine the contemporary jewelry with fashion jewelry, which are designed to express something and can be manufactured quicker. So I use 3D printing technique to present my works, and using 3D printing material to do the main part. And I'm gonna show you some pieces, like these two pieces. 3D printing nylon of the main part, and I combine them with the metal part or the pearl part. So I also use 3D printing resin to do some pieces, and use different technique to do the color and texture, like painting, dyeing, and also flocking, and combine different parts with glue. Until now, I already finished 4 seasons in the past 1 year, and I'll talk about each season. The first one name is Poofy Curve. The inspiration is from the curves on clothes and the wrinkles on the body, and I want to enlarge the curve to create a different kind of jewelry to tell people even the imperfect wrinkle on body or the crease on clothes are a kind of beauty. And second season, the development of the first season, and I use metal to finish each pieces to make people have more choice to suitable their clothes. And also the third collection is the name is reclining, and I combine these two material using metals and 3D printing material, and I use the specific shape of one of nature. Try to tell people even the coronavirus is terrible, but we should trust the power of life, and the future should be more bright and beautiful. So let's pray for it. And the fourth one, and also the newest one, the collection name is Have Memory, and the inspiration is from my trip in Venice in 2018, and I want to memorize this beautiful experience. So I create this collection. Also use two kind of material, metal and 3D printing material, and finish them in different colors. And also I can see my earring I'm wearing today are from this new collection. Yeah, so this is the full collection of the brand, and I hope the work I have done in MA course and also the development of my style on my career can help me for take further. And if you want to know more of my work or my brand, you can find me on Instagram, and my Instagram is Wang Jewelry. Hopefully this short talk can help you something. And anything more you want to know about my works or my experience studying in MA course, you can text me on Instagram, and I'm happy to share my more experience to you. And this is the short sharing of my works, and thank you for watching, and bye.
Okay, another fantastic presentation there. I love some of those pieces. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. My computer just decided it didn't want to play the game anymore, so thanks for jumping in there, Bree. We have one more presentation in this session before we move over to our moderated discussion in sessions. So Shinta Nakajima is a Japanese silversmith based in the UK. He studied a BA of Metalcraft course at Musashino Art University in Tokyo. After graduating, he engaged as a technician at Musashino and for 5 years until 2018. He then participated in a residence program at Sarabande Foundation in London and won several awards at the Goldsmiths Craft and Design Council Awards in 2019 and 2020. Over 2 years, he has gained a lot of perspective for skills and as an award-winning silversmith. And in this presentation, we'll touch on his work and why he is determined to exist in an educational environment. I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Hi, my name is Shinta Nakajima. I'm a Japanese silversmith based in UK. I'm really honored to join in such a great opportunity, and thank you for inviting. Today, I would like to talk about my practice with my educational experiment. No, with environment. So to start, I would like to share my slide for you. Okay. Yes. At the beginning, I would like to introduce my concept of my works. My works are inspired from the nature, especially plants, with particular focus on forms of seeds and fruits. For me, hammering is very simple and somewhat meditative repetition of the act of beating the metal sheets to create undulation, convex and concave. I intend to produce works awakening people's primitive memories by integrating my every hammer beat with the form of seed and fruits, generating and sustaining life during the long production process. This statement was developed when I was in university as a student and also during the research associate in there. Okay. I graduated at the BA Metal Craft course, Musashino Art University, Tokyo in Japan, in 2013. After that, I started to work as a research associate under Professor Hiroshi Suzuki at the same university for 5 years. While I was in university, I tried many techniques not only related with silversmithing because I need to help students to learn. So I self-taught about from stone setting to blacksmithing, everything. We encouraged each together. It was really nice memories for me. This is a shortlisted piece for competition in Germany. It's made from the fine silver. Okay. So when I did the first solo exhibition in last years of my working term in university, I had been matured in technically. I exhibited many kinds of technical practice for wide range, as you can see, patination, enameling, welding, and engraving. Yes. And then I finished my working term. In 2018, I moved to London and got an opportunity to join the residential program in Sarban Foundation. It was established by Alexander McQueen for supporting young artists, not only fashion designers, but also fine artists and craftsmen and sculptor. And this is my small studio. This was. It was only 4 by 2 meters square, I think. But I could use here efficiently because I'm really good at organized and tidy up because I have to do like that in the messy studio when I worked in university. And also I didn't have many stuff. Actually, I don't need specific tools, only hammers and stakes. Through the program, I developed the chasing skill deeply. This is another shortlisted piece for competition in Germany. Yeah, I also engaged with the interpretation of my key work. It calls Magnolia series, like this. Yeah, I could express well about my essential designing point, the texture and flow. These were integrated into 3D form by improving from my initial piece in 2015. And also this is I think it's kind of a nice example of the self-development by changing the interpretation of motif of doubt by involving with my skill progress. I got 2 silver awards in Goldsmiths Craft and Design Council Awards in 2019. This is one of the big competition in UK. Yeah, luckily. Then I got the gold and silver award in 2020 with this piece. Yeah, this piece has been a big challenge to explore how this intensive design could be assessed in the context of British silversmithing. As a result, it became the huge achievement as a perspective of technique. So yes, I think that basically my practice is based on these experimental materiality. This is functional. This method is really functional for self-developing as a craftsman, and it is natural thinking way for the consequence of conversation with materials. But however, at the same time, it means its potential to think into the obsession with materials and skills. Actually, in another way, since I started my practice, I've always adhered to be a silversmith. So now, I decided to back to the university again. So why? One of the main reasons is that I am starting to desire to make the piece more critical and to relate with the people through the silversmithing. And I am thinking about my next controversial challenge is the liberation from the form of silversmithing to more broad values of categories by new design thinking. So it means, how could I expand the boundaries of craft as a silversmith? So yes, I thought the most important things for me is that this idea is based on the extension of the silversmithing. It means a potential to be incorporated on the context of the contemporary craft and also interior as a material suggestion. For this purpose, I decided to develop the designing method in Sheffield, where its famous town supported British Industrial Revolution. And also there are many silversmiths with the manufacturing culture and history still. So yes, I drew like these maps, and it shows my imagine the direction of interpretation for the future. Yeah, kind of like this. Yes, I hope this advanced metal-based environment can clarify my position as a silversmith, along with learning critical methodological thinking. Yes, so I'm sorry. I don't have enough time to talk about all my ideas for now. And also, it's just started the foundation of research. Yeah, I hope I could introduce my development with new work in near the future. Yeah. Thank you for watching. See you soon.
Okay, everyone, that is the final presentation for Exploring Education. We are now going to jump over to sessions, but before we do that, I'm going to introduce our moderator. Our moderator for the Exploring Education discussion is Motoko Furuhashi, who received her MFA from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and she is currently appointed as an associate professor at New Mexico State University. Her work has been exhibited nationally and internationally, including at the Museum of Contemporary Art Chicago, the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft, the Oakland Museum of California, and Alliages in France. Publications include 500 Plastic Jewelry Design, New Rings, 500 Designs from Around the World, and Humor in Craft. And her research has been influenced by the locations in which she has lived or visited. She grew up in Tokyo and since childhood has always read maps and used her imagination to travel around the world. Her inquiry today is very much driven by her past, rooted in the desire to explore the unknown, and it has been these experiences traveling were the roads that take me from one place to another. Folks, if you're joining us on the main stage right now, please head over to sessions where we will continue the conversation led by Motoko. And then we'll see you back here on the main stage at 6:15 for our keynote speaker, Bife Tiao. See you over in sessions. And if you're looking for how to get there, just check the left-hand panel of your screen, and there's an icon where you can toggle between sessions and the main stage. We'll see you back here at 6:15.
Jack, you can talk about Kookmin because
I'm so thrilled.
Yeah, because
Sungyeoul is not here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We wish he's here also. I went to the school with him. Actually, it didn't overlap, but then when I visited to see the university, he hosted me to showing around in this like a snow village of Illinois. So that was lovely. Hi, everyone. And Chun-Yu, you're here. Thank you so much for your presentations. And then Shinta's here also from the presentation. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Hi, thank you. Thanks so much.
And Sharon will do some translation for Chun-Yu. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And anybody else, feel free to put your video on, say hi, put questions in the chat, Q&A.
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. Yeah, if you like to join, there is a little blue rectangular frame. It's set for the share for the audios, videos. Click on that to join us. If you would like to feel comfortable to just leave in on a message and question on the chat. On the right, there's a chat. So please feel free to type it in. I will do the best of my knowledge to get in reading all the questions, but if I ever like missed or forget to mention yours, please feel free to type it again or jump onto the conversations. So let's get started. Well, thank you again for the joining here. My name is Motoko. I teach at university in the New Mexico State University here. So I myself as an educator, and then it looks like there's Jack Da Silva here, and then Harlan Butt here, who's also educator. And then also the Chun-Yu and Shinta, of course, they have experience for being educational field and also grow up in a different part of the world, which have a very different educational system. So we're interested to hear their experiences today. And Choyan, do you need a time to translate? For Chun-Yu?
他问你需不需要翻译他刚才说的话。
好啊。
他就是说，介绍了一下大家都是哪个学校在工作的或者在学习的人，然后有他自己是来自新墨西哥的一个这个学院，然后我们这边还有日本的艺术家，然后就是大家来自世界各地这样子，
All right. Yeah, so I have a couple questions, but I think I would like to do the most basic question for what does education mean to you? That's a very broad question, but I want to ask you because everyone have a different background, and education to me is even beyond the school, like a cultural, like mom and dad teach you, and all those like education is, to me, it's informing who you are and defining you as an artist. So I want to hear your story. Tell us your stories. Should we start from Chun-Yu?
所以他的第一个问题就是，你觉得这个教育系统对你的作品和你的艺术实践产生什么样的影响？因为他说从你们的presentation 里面看到，就是说你们所接受教育的这个环境，其实对你们产生着很大的影响，所以就是这种教育对你来说意味着什么？是一个比较宽广的问题。对，
我觉得就是我进来研究所，就是有学到比较相关的知识，然后甚至是精工的历史。然后还有一些同学，就是如果来学校的话，可以跟同学讨论，也可以跟老师讨论。然后我觉得跟他们讨论是就是最能激发创作的。
So she said, being able to study in an academic environment allows her to learn a lot about the metalsmithing history and some other relevant knowledges. And the best part of this is to be able to communicate with her peers, with the classmates and teachers in this environment. And that's what she found the most helpful.
Thank you. Shinta. Hi.
Hi.
I know that you asked me a little bit about for maybe the translation help, but I know that your English is great. So do you have any question about my questions or?
Yes. For me, when I was BA, it was just 20 years old. So, and now I decided to back to uni as a master student at 32 years old. Yeah, it's really huge difference for me, and it's completely changed my perspective. So yeah, for me it's really yeah, good opportunity to back again to educational environment.
Yes, and then everyone, if you have any particular questions, please feel free to post in all the questions. If you are not having any question at this moment, I'm gonna just keep asking for like questions that I have for them. Because I thinking about, like I said, education is something also cultural. We've been talking about discussion a lot about university education, but also I think that the childhood education really embedded into the cultural craft. To me, is as I myself from Japan, and I've seen a lot of like repeated patterns of the craftsmanship, and a lot of artists using a lot of repeat. And then Shinta, and then post Chun-Yu, that you have a lots of like repeating motions over and over.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I thinking about those moments. I remember in the elementary school when we are assigned to write the characters on the notes over and over and over and over. And in particularly those two countries in Taiwan, China, Japan's using for the Chinese character, we do so much more writings for the practice because there's so many things to remember. So like to me is that I seen for like those a connection of the doing things over and over and over. It's somehow applying to that your craft forms. Do you think about something that you have any connection from the how you grow up and now it's reflected to your art? Xiaoyan, do you wanna Shuran?
Yeah, okay. So,他在问的这个下一个问题就是，因为我们在影片里面看到的主要是你进入大学之后的接受的教育的系统，然后他的问题是，你觉得除此之外，你的就是童年时期，接受的教育对你的艺术创作有什么样的影响？然后他举了一个例子，就是他们日本人在小学的时候就会学习到一些这种重复性非常高的这种，比如说练字啊，或者是一些记忆都是这种重复性比较高的。所以他刚才就是说，在这位日本艺术家的作品里面就能看到很多这样子童年流传下来的这种影响。然后就是在问你们有没有在更早的时期的教育中对你们留下的影响，一直影响着你们现在的艺术的创作。
我先说吗？
可以说。
是说对于在国小或是国中、高中的美术课嘛，就是对我现在创作的影响。
对，你可以说这一方面，然后也如果你有其他的感想，关于你的个人生活、童年方面的也都可以。
好，我觉得就是在我小时候的美术课，其实基本上就是很常会被牺牲，就是可能会被国英数的老师拿去说哦，我们要补课，所以其实美术课对我来说，并没有说有起到什么作用，而且有时候反而会觉得，就是他们那些老师会，就是跟其他科系的其他学科的老师比，会好像没有这么有权威吗？然后如果是以那个，就是说童年经验的话，就是我刚刚的那些影片，其实都是我进研究所之后的创作，不是大学的。然后我自己的创作方式就是从生活去找素材，所以其实童年的一些回忆都是，其实也是我创作过的主题，这样子。
So she said that in her early stage of in the early stage education, she had received like in like primary school, the art classes were always not taken seriously, and the teacher is always like, oh, I'm taking a day off, so this class is not like today's class is now being taken place of another class like math or other more serious classes. So the art classes from her early stage of education did not really form any profound impact in her art creation today. But her art practice today do based on many of her personal memories from her childhood and her personal life and personal experiences.
我可以补充一件事吗？
可以。
就是对于就是国小或是国中、高中的美术老师，对我来说没有什么帮助。可是那只是我的个人，就是没有遇到一个对我有帮助的老师。可是其实我听很多同学就是说，有些老师也是他们高中或是国小的美术课老师影响他们，让他们现在就是可以成为我的同学，就是也是有影响他们的。
So she just wanted to make a clarification that she just personally think her own art teacher in her primary school did not have a very profound impact in her art creation today, but she has known some friends in her life who had learned a lot from their early stage like art classes in primary schools. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
I think Motoko.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Xiaoyan.
Hi. I think Motoko brought up a very interesting aspect about cultural differences in education and how we basically approach and see the time that we're studying art. For instance, when originally I'm from Holland, but I studied in Israel, and the relationship to the professors was very much, we called them by their first name, actually. It was very relaxed, and it was very, it sort of gave you the feeling, even though there was, of course, respect towards the teachers and the professors, but I felt there was much more of a freer environment. Then when I went for my MA to Pforzheim, that was much more rigid. There was much more distance. It was Herr Professor basically, and you know, because I've been to a lot of Asian countries. It must be part of the culture that the general approach is an approach of much more of obedience. You know, you look up to the professor and the teacher, and this is just my personal opinion. You know, like I used to be a professor in Holland also, and I always told my students, don't accept everything I say. You know, fight with me and argue with me, and you know, I might just have a little bit more experience, but who am I? And I've seen that, you know, in Asian countries that maybe have a much more maybe formal or rigid approach, how a student basically sees that time in which they're educated, which, as far as I'm concerned, you should just fight with your teachers and professors and experiment, you know, all those years till you drop dead. So there are clearly cultural differences. In the former, I remember the academies in the former communist countries, you were not even allowed to make anything in a personal expression, you know, because it was all based on politics. So it's something about teaching free expression and teaching your unique voice and how that is being viewed in certain cultures? Does that mean if you disagree with your professor, does that mean you're disrespectful? Does that mean you can't really have your opinion? So I think you brought up a very interesting cultural difference in how we view education. And it has
one thing, if I may.
Yes, please.
I found kind of interesting. I feel very humble and very lucky to have been the first visiting professor that Kim Sung-hee invited to Kookmin University back in 1982. Her concept was that rather than having to require the students to travel to other countries, not everybody could afford it back in the early 80s. But by bringing a foreign professor to Kookmin University, then many students could benefit from it. And it was fantastic. But two of the topics that have been kind of discussed today in different sessions, one of tradition and just now about communication, is that I am confident that part of the reason I was selected is I was interested in ancient and traditional metalworking techniques. And Kim Sung-hee, even being a contemporary jeweler, and it was lovely to see how that program has evolved in the past 40 years. My gosh, she was a powerhouse. But one of the things that I noticed, because I had just graduated from graduate school at Indiana University, was in terms of the communication, I was not used to being treated with kid gloves by the students or with so much respect. And at the same time, it changed the way I communicate, because I began to realize that my students who spoke English spoke proper English. So if I was to ask a question, did you not have time to get your materials? An American student would say, no, I did not have time. But a Korean student would say, yes, I did not have time. And I had to completely rejigger the way that I would ask a question, how I would hear the answer, moving away from positive response as acknowledgement, because it wasn't always intended to be a positive response. But fortunately, I became fairly close with the students. We traveled the whole country. Sung-Yu was so interested. We visited many, many traditional Korean metalsmiths. I've been back 6 times. And I am so thrilled to see these exchanges that are going on in both directions now. It changed my life, and I'm sure it really changes many others also.
Yeah, thank you, Jack, for the sharing for your experience. That's actually one of my questions to you, that how's your experience between the two cultures. But Shunran, do you need for the time to translate?
Okay, sure, yeah. 他们两个刚才就是在讨论，就是中西方教育的一个差异性。就是刚才下面这一位 Transitive 这位Sharon, is that your name? Sorry. Sharon, okay, sorry. 就是 Sharon 刚才说过了，就是在西方的话，可能会更鼓励这种有批判性思维的教育，就是学生会被鼓励去跟老师有一些不一样的观点，然后去跟老师有一些就是学术性、专业性的对峙，这样也是完全鼓励的。但是他个人的一个角度来看，他感觉似乎在亚洲地区的亚洲国家里面的教育，好像学生会被期待去更加顺从于或者服从于老师的那种思维，或者老师教什么你就学什么，就这两种文化是不一样的。这种感觉，对。然后刚才上面那一位老先生，那位教授也说，他说就是在跟不同国家的学生打交道，也会有一个很不一样的感觉，包括还有就是语言上面的表达也不一样，就这个也是因为文化的差异吧。然后他们两个就是讨论了一下，讲了一下中西方学生，就是以他们自己的经验角度来看是。 他们个人的经验和他们个人的一些比较有趣的感触。对，如果你有什么想发表的一些想法，也可以说。
May I add something that just came up when Jack was talking? The environment in an academy or a university as an art student, we are already outsiders. We're considered outsiders in society. I've heard way too many stories of students who choose to be artists who by their family and environment are looked upon as like, what's wrong with you? Can't you just, get a regular job, etc., etc. So we come into these settings as feeling, we're different, and all we need to do is learn to develop our unique voice, right? To me, that's how I see art education. Every idiot can learn a technique, but this is really about your voice. And so the environment in which you develop that is so influential, actually, in how you develop as an artist with a voice and feel comfortable with it, and maybe way further can really look at yourself not so much as a person like what's wrong with you, but really embrace your uniqueness.
Yeah, I think that's totally like agree with that. And I know that to you, you are trying to say something before that.
就是你刚才有想，
对，可是还是要先翻译一下刚刚教授说的。
对，他刚才就是说，我们作为艺术家或者艺术从业者，本来我们就被安上了一个所谓这种局外人的这么一个角色，因为就好像所有人都觉得艺术家不是一个正经的工作，或者不是一个非常正式的那种主流的工作。然后还有就是，他就说在学院里面学习的主要就是说让学生来找到自己独特的一个声音，来通过作品来告诉外面的世界我是谁，然后我的作品做的是什么，就是来传递一个自己的声音这样子。对，他刚才就是表达了一下这个感想。对。
好，那刚刚是回到上一个嘛，就是刚刚是两位老师以老师的角度，然后就是去讲，就是他们去就是东方学校去教育学生的时候的感觉。那我觉得我以学生的角度的话，就是的确就是从国小到现在会接触很多老师，然后的确就是有些老师会在你可能跟他提出质疑的时候，会觉得你怎么会这样想？可是也是真的是会有就是会有另外一种老师，就是完全可以接受你可能任何想法，只要你知道你自己在做什么，就是你可以清楚的知道你的想法，然后你要怎么做，那就是他就是可以让你自由发挥这样子。
So she said that as from a perspective of a student, and all the way from her primary school to college to grad school, she met different teachers, and there are indeed teachers of like who would feel offended when students say something that's different than what they taught. But there are also some other teachers who are willing to really listen to your opinions, even though the opinions might be different from what the teachers think. So that's basically what she was trying to say. But she does resonate a lot with what's said before about the cultural difference in this educational dynamic. Yeah.
Thank you. And also let's hear from Chun-Yu.
不好意思，像是我们研究所就是 是就是很开放的跟老师讨论作品，就是我们学校就是一个很自由的地方，就是一个很自由的氛围去做创作。只要是你知道你自己要做什么，就可以做你任何想要做的事情。你可以尝试不同的媒材，你可以尝试不同的，就是你要做首饰物件都可以这样子。
So she said that in her grad school, it's a very open-minded environment that encourages students to have different voices and try whatever materials they are interested in. And they communicate with the teachers or the professors pretty much equally. So they just exchange their different opinions. And that's the environment she is in grad school in Taiwan. Yeah.
Thank you. And let's hear from Shinta too. Shinta, can you explain tell us your story since your childhood through your current stage, how the education is influencing towards your work?
Sorry. Yes. In a Western, making is the starting along with the thinking. So yeah, simply it's really encouraged to develop the why are you making the piece and how you so it's really opposite from Japan and I think from Asian country.
Yes, thank you. And I know that we're running into the time, but I also wanted to conclude it as asking the two artists here to present it and also the audience how the future of education going to shift in terms of the housing of your background. Shinta, do you have any? I know this is a very big question, so why don't I give for the Shuran for the translating time, so you can think about it?
Yeah. 他这个问题问的蛮广蛮大的，就是说根据你的个人的接受的这个教育背景来说，你觉得这种教育系统或者教育模式在未来会有一个什么样的转变，有个什么趋势？对，
我们国家吗？
对，就是就你自己的文化背景来说，就你有没有一些想法或者一些你所预见到的转变趋势，各种的？
在台湾有一种说法是，就是有一种叫恐龙家长，就是对。然后我觉得，然后现在小朋友又很早就接触到3C 产品，我觉得会更好吗？
什么是3C 产品？
就是手机、电玩什么，就很小。对。
OK。那你能再解释一下那个恐龙家长？
恐龙家长吗？
啊，
就是不讲理的，就是我的小朋友一定没错，一定是你的教育有问题之类的，就是那种家长。
OK， 有趣。So interestingly, she said there is a saying in Taiwan, which is a term that's calling the parents as dinosaurs parents, which means they are like those unreasonable parents who thinks there's nothing wrong with their kids and it's on the teacher or on the education or on the school, and also the technology like the mobile phones, like these digital devices are more, and like it has a tendency to be more prevailing to the younger generation. So that's like the change she witnessed in Taiwan society, and she's not very clear like what kind of difference will that make in the future, but it's just a very interesting phenomena. Yeah.
I think it's an impossible question because if we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow these days globally. Like it's just a lot of speculation. So to see or to ask how things will develop, I mean, anybody who says, "Oh, I know," it's going to blah, 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 I'm like, we don't know. We are in such a transition. We are in such a
I
right?
guess it's more about for like how you wish for the future to become, or like how's that our current. I mean, we have in the stage of like everything is shifted and everything changed. Beyond for cultural, like talking about for like a technology, everything shifted. So I guess in a perfect world of your cultures, like how we wish to see the educational shifting forward. I guess that was better questions. Shinta, do you have something to say?
Yes. I think in the craft, it will be merged and across beyond the categories. I mean, so yeah. I mean, the category is the as a genre. So also, yeah, I started to expand my perspective as a silversmithing to the interior design. So I think it's changing and beyond the genre and the category in the future, I think.
But Shinta, I don't know how old you are, but do you remember when the word craft was a dirty word? When museums, who were like the craft museum, everywhere in the world, craft departments, they were renamed. It was all design, and craft
Yes.
dirty word.
Mm.
When you hear that, it's I think, but I'm not sure, that there is maybe a re-evaluation of the craft because we're so over the word design. Everything is design and everybody wants to be a designer. And so
and Sharon, if you don't mind, there is a pressure that when I teach at New Mexico State University here, there was like, I'm hearing the word, oh, my mom doesn't want me to be an artist.
Right.
I have a pressure, like if it's a graphic design, it's okay, but art, don't do it,
It's the word design, art, and art less, but craft is, has such a bad connotation for, and it's, what about honoring craft?
Yeah, and I think this is one of the really important tools. We saw a lot today about 3D printing, and we hear about technology. We see some of the limitations of technology in the transmission of these different things. This is our most important tool.
The hand, exactly.
Yes, and as Jack Brubaker, a blacksmith in the Midwest, commented one time when I asked him, well, how can we make sure, in the broader context, I was asking about blacksmithing, but how can we make sure that metalsmithing and the crafts continue? And he said, it will always continue as long as there is a hand willing to pass it on and another hand willing to receive it. Yeah. It can never die if these two things are true. And we maintain the understanding of the use.
We use it as a metaphor, the hand, like, I'm not against new technologies, but the hand is, in the end, the way to express the voice.
Yeah.
Especially as we understand now that information does not flow from the head to the hand. It is actually common knowledge now that it's the other way around. The information starts here and flows to here. And that's how we got to where we are now. And the jewelry metal arts is a big part of that. Think about if jewelry metal arts didn't exist thousands of years ago. Would the gem dealers ever have been able to learn how to cut harder materials with softer materials? Would they ever have been able to create the timepieces that were necessary to navigate the world? would Sir Johnny Ives, who became the industrial designer for Apple because his dad was a silversmith, would he have ever helped Apple to accomplish these massive advances in technology? The jewelry metal arts and blacksmithing, and believe it or not, we believe it, crafts are at the heart of humanity. There is no heart without art. It's that simple.
Amen.
I hate to cut this short, everyone. What an amazing conversation. But the keynote is going to start in 4 minutes at 6:50.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I do want to thank
so much.
Motoko for moderating. Go ahead, Motoko. Did you want to talk? You're muted. You're on mute, Motoko.
Yeah, really quick. Luis was asking for the Chun-Yu for the question for the human size wire work. Was the like evaluation we saw her practice? What does the judge say about her work for the lifestyle work? Can you say really quick on that one?
就是这个聊天里面有一个人问的说，他就是比较好奇你们最后学院那个教检，老师那个教检，就是你的作品，老师有发表什么样的评论，或者老师是怎么来给你的作品打分的？就是有人比较好奇这个。
我们就是会先讲，大概一个人15分钟，然后我们会先讲我们的作品理念，然后再3个老师轮流讲。然后这一次的话，我的作品，因为我在尝试就是把颜色加进我的作品里面，就是所以这个部分有好也有坏，就是我做出来的成品这样子。
So in the final evaluation in her class, so each student will given 15 minutes to talk about their works, and the teachers will give comments and feedbacks toward their works. And in her own practice, because she is trying and experimenting to add new colors in her pieces, so there are good and bad comments about it, and yeah, that's what she said.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And once again, sorry for the overtime. And if there's any question, please send it for the Instagram message directly to the artist. And thank you so much again. And have a great
Thank you so much. Thank you
so much. Thank you, Chu. Thank you, Shinta. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
See you in the stage. Well, it was, but
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah.